Hi there everyone, welcome to my daily video challenge. This is episode 4, video 4, and it's all about talking about the things to do with allergies that people don't always talk about. So today I'm going to be talking about what to do when you freak out about allergies. Now, having life-threatening allergies, having allergies can be a pretty freaky situation, especially with anaphylaxis if you have to have EpiPens because something really normal could kill you or make you incredibly ill. This is normal. However, you can't go through life living like that. It's just not feasible. It's not a good... Well, you'll just ruin your life if you are freaking out and really anxious all the time. So what to do when you're freaking out and you're really anxious all the time? Well, first up, it's time to face it. You don't want to, and the reason you're freaking out is because you're ignoring it. So what to do is, first of all, write down what you're freaking out about. And this goes for allergy parents as well. What I say is you've got to look at what you are anxious about. If you know what you're anxious about, you can take action on it. So write down 1, 2, 3, 4, if there are 4, about what you're anxious about. Things such as, if it's for me, I'm anxious about someone putting nuts in my food, or maybe telling people about my allergy. I might be anxious about if I have an allergic reaction, going to hospital, will I get there in time, anxiety about injecting an adrenaline pen, things like that. So those are what I'm anxious about. Then I need to look at what I'm anxious about and say, what action can I take to reduce my anxiety and know I have the tools, know I've done the preparation in order to reduce any risk of those things that I'm anxious about. So for, worried about maybe people putting peanuts or tree nuts in my food that could cause an anaphylactic reaction in me, I would, first of all, talk to people if there are nuts, ask them if there are nuts in the food. If I don't trust the food, I don't eat the food. If I am at a restaurant, I ask the waiters, I tell the waiters, if you've got an allergy card, send it to the kitchen. Make sure you've got multiple with you. If I am going around to people's houses, I tell them before I go there. I also offer to cook, so often I'll get people to come to my house. And I cook, and I know I'm safe. So those are just some of the things I do to mitigate that risk, worrying about people putting nuts in my food. I take the control and I do something about it, and that helps me feel safer. It helps me take control and feel less anxious, because the more control I have, the less anxious I feel. Now, what about worrying about a reaction? Well, reactions happen out of the blue when you're least expecting it, because you don't have a plan to have a reaction. That's just normal. So, what do you do next? Well, it's all about preparation planning. Again, so you need to have your medication with you. You need to know where the nearest hospital is, or at least the emergency number, to get to the hospital, to call the emergency services, know what to do with your medication and when to take it. So check the latest guidelines on when you should administer your antihistamines, Piriton, Benadryl, whichever one you, citrazine I think is another one, whichever one you use. Also, you should know how and when to use your EpiPen, and the guidelines do change, so check the latest ones. But also be aware, I know there was a complaint about people taking EpiPens too much. Well, don't know what too much is, but carry 2 EpiPens, because you can, if the first one doesn't work, then you can inject another one. You need to know that you have the tools. So also have an allergy action plan, know what you're going to do. And that's what I've just talked about. Medication, hospital, when and how to take the medication, and when to go to the hospital. You should always go to the hospital. Always. If you're having an allergic reaction, especially with anaphylaxis, you should always go to the hospital. So then you know that you are prepared should the worst happen. And then you don't need to think about what you're doing. You just go and do it, because don't let your emotions get in the way when you're having an anaphylactic reaction. I know it's really difficult, but you need to go into kind of like military operation mode, because that is going to keep you alive. So that's it for today. Thanks for joining me. Make sure you subscribe. I'll put a link at the bottom. Check out another video I've done, and I hope you enjoy it. All links for the blog and podcast are in the bottom. And if you have a question you want me to answer or rant, leave a note in the comments below. Okay, thanks for joining me. Bye.